great golden afternoon, everyone in the listening audience and viewing audience. My name is Hillman Muhammad, and I'm coming to you live from Huntsville, Alabama. But before I get started with this courage to change now, I've got to bring on my bishop here, Bishop TDJ, because he tell it about the need for courage like no one else I have heard. Again, Hillman Muhammad is my name, coming to you from the Rocket City, Huntsville, Alabama, and we coming to you from the studio of the Courage to Change Now news studio with an episode from Black Wall Street, Alabama, 501c3 that's operating in the whole state of Alabama and the world now through this newscast. I am the founder and CEO of Black Wall Street, Alabama. I'm also the creator of the Courage to Change Now. So, without any further delay, I want to bring this bishop on to let him talk about courage, and then I'm gonna come back to you live.
You got to have the courage. Do you have the courage to act outwardly on what you see inwardly? Or will you die a dreamer? Will you die on the verge and on the edge and in the land of coulda, woulda, and shoulda? Do you have the courage? I'm going to drop something on you. It takes courage to be successful. It is far easier not to be successful. Misery will always have company. Success breeds contempt. If you don't want to make waves, be mediocre. Be normal and fit in. And if you're more concerned about people than you are God, then neutralize everything he put in you. Just fit in with everybody else. Dress like them, walk like them, act like them, eat like them, go where they go, think like they think, do what they do. And once you've neutralized your uniqueness, you don't need courage. It takes courage to be different. It takes courage to go where you've never gone before. For some of you, it took courage to come to this conference. It takes courage to get you outside of the bar. It takes courage to be successful. It takes courage to win. People don't talk about people that don't win. If you win, they're going to talk about you. Do you have the courage to stand there though the storms keep raging and the people get to talking and you stand there and say, I've come too far to turn around? Do you have the courage? I'm going to say something to you. It takes courage to be exceptional. It takes courage to be wise. It takes courage to be rich. It takes courage to be educated. It takes courage to be knowledgeable. Because the moment you do, but you don't talk like, oh, you don't forgot where you came from. Look at you talking. It takes courage.
Come on, man.
And I'm just wondering, in this weak, watered down, mediocre society that we live in today, in this reality TV world we live in today, I'm wondering if there's anybody left that's got the courage to say, after all I've been through, and all my ancestors have been through, and all my parents have been through, I didn't come through all of that just to fit in with normalcy. I have the courage to go after my dream. Is there a woman left in this entire Coliseum that's got some courage?
Come on, man. All right, all right. I know that fired me up. It should fire you up. Bishop T.D. Jakes is awesome, awesome guy, man. He's a bishop that went through the trial and the tribulation of being what he is today. And this is what I am really focusing on, to get us to be all that we can be today. As you notice, I got on my royal purple today. I'm feeling royal today. And okay, I got
running.
Hold for a minute.
Out of time.
We are running out of time, man. That's a
What
good
are you
thing.
going to do?
That's a good thing, man. for him to come back up with that one, running out of time. That's a good omen for us, because we have to realize that time is on our side, but it's against us. We had a time where it said it would be a great and a dreadful day, and we are participating in that as we speak, ladies and gentlemen. We have to get our courage up. We got to find out where we're going to place in the world after this crisis. We are going to have to really develop the courage to stand up, make sure that we won't go back into the basement of the civilization of America and the world in their life. We have to muster up some courage to change our well-being, change our position in life, change our attitude, and it all comes with the mind. And this is the key word in the phrase or in the movement, hashtag and all that you've been seeing, that you're probably sick and tired of. But until you get the courage, you and I get the courage, I got to put myself in it too, get the courage to make a change in our reality, which is not reality or not the best reality for people of God. That bishop just got done talking. He's a man of God. Listen to how he spoke. And did you notice? That arena was full of women. It was no men there. That was a woman's function. And he had them jumping off of the seats. Now, what about the men, the black men that are in and are going through this and are looking at some of the same thing that we're facing year in, year out, generation in, generation out, at the bottom of the rung of this ladder called America and the capitalistic society, or what they call the democratic system? We need to scrap all of that going into the new world which is coming about now, because as the Honorable Louis Farrakhan at Savior's Day mentioned, he and he didn't prophesy it. He just saw the handwriting on the wall. A great nation unraveling. But because this nation was intertwined with all the nations of the world in their political democratic system, in their capitalistic Federal Reserve or fiat currency system, he's bringing all of that down, and we too cowardly to see that we need to make a move. Even a rat, they say, will get off of a sinking ship and start looking for another place to feed from. There's a little book that I really got a lot from in my network marketing life when I came into network marketing, especially after the 2001, when I had just started my limousine, the 2001 9/11, the World Tower Center that was created, not from someone that was outside in the mountains blowing some buildings up like it went down, but it hurt my business. I had only been in business. I started my limousine business. I relocated from Chicago to Houston. Let me slow down because I'm excited. As you know, I got my royal purple, so I feel royal today, and I want to talk to us like we need this. We need to have transformational leadership right now. But I came from Chicago back to Houston to start my limousine business in February, by the time I got all my license and things done. And then in September, 9/11 rocked the transportation industry. Up until February, if I had one customer on a plane coming from New York or Los Angeles, out of 10 people on that plane, I was happy. So there I came into network marketing just to keep my business going, because I had good credit, but I ran all out of my credit. But network marketing taught me a lesson right after that with a little book called Who Moved My Cheese. Because not only did the World Trade Center rock the economy, but I was in Houston where Enron was found to be a fraud, swindling people out of their energy, through energy, and all of that. And I survived all of that by coming into network marketing and learning about personal development, learning a whole lot. I'd already been in networking because I was in the ministry in the Nation of Islam since 1972, which is all religion is networking. And at that time, we were building a nation not so much on the religious side as we have from the East, the Islamic world. In fact, they chided the Honorable Elijah Muhammad one time and told him more than once that he was not teaching true Islam. And he said, that's not my mission. My mission is to teach my people the knowledge of themselves, because we had been thoroughly robbed of our knowledge of ourself, our God, our language, our history, everything that you can mention that a human being needs to survive and to spring forward. That had been taken away from us as a human being. So now, after that sojourn, here at the end of the emancipation, or whatever that means, here our slave masters come and say, let me teach you. So as Malcolm X said more than once, our brother Malcolm X said, how can you expect a man that never treated you right to teach you right? And we're coming upon that wrong teaching right now in our head, trying to figure out this crisis and what we're going to do after this crisis. That's a thing where we need to understand. I'm sorry. I got it done. We need to focus on right now while we still in the houses. Don't be clamoring to get out of the house, because we ain't got no business straight to come out again, because the whole platform is going to change once we come back in it. Give it 3 months, give it 6 months. We won't recognize anything that we knew previously. And if we do not create our own reality through transformational leadership, because these traditional leadership has been hoodwinked, bamboozled, and they hoodwinking and blinding us even more to be a perfect slave without the change. But now, the word courage in that phrase or hashtag or movement that we got, that's the key word. Word make people, and the wrong words make the wrong people. And this is why we gloss over words. When I started with this word courage by having to practice the serenity prayer, where it says, uh, uh, allow me to accept the things I cannot change, but the courage to change the things I can. That prayer is so relevant today, because I accept the things I cannot change. I can't change this crisis. I can't change what's going on. I can't change what is going to happen after, except if I have the courage to change the things I can, and that is my own reality. And you and I share that same journey at this day and time, because I'll tell you this: it's nobody gonna baby us in a few more days. Nobody gonna be pampering us. You get out there with a protest, protesting unfair treatment, when God has given you within yourself. And the religious leaders, the people that say they are men of God, should be reaching in their chest to find that area in their chest where the word courage is laden there in the form of the heart, which God has placed in each and every one of us, the courage to change. The courage is within us. Hey, everything that we need is within us. When Jesus was asked in the scripture, where's this kingdom you're talking about? He says it's within you. Have we ever delved deep into why he said that and what he meant by saying that? Everything we need is within us. The brothers and sisters out just up from the emancipation in the late 1860 that built Black Wall Street, Tulsa, that built Black Wall Street, East St. Louis, Black Wall Street, Carolinas, and 60 cities in this country. They didn't come out with looking from without, because they knew the slave master had already said it, where they was not giving them anything, not the 40 acres and the mule, not the $100. They didn't have the education that we have today, didn't have the monies that we have today, didn't have the population that we have today among us, but yet and still they built enterprises. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad later on in the 30s, after he got his mission, started with people that were underutilized people and started building a nation to do for self, do for self. And in 1975, when the death of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was announced, People's Magazine placed on that front cover, and there were other periodicals, but I only found that one on the front cover of the magazine saying that who will inherit this $80 million empire. Now, this is 1975, you all. And go back to 1921 when the Black Wall Street, Tulsa, was destroyed. They had 35 blocks of businesses that contained 300 businesses within those 35 blocks. That was a dollar circulated in that community for 100 days before it came out. That means they were doing businesses with themselves. They were self-reliant. They were productive. They were creative, which we all have that creative germ in us. And it starts with the word courage, C-O-R, cur, which means of the heart. God placed that there. He placed it in them. He placed it in us. Now, what we need today is transformational leadership. As it's written in the scripture, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. So what Paul was saying then was we need transformational leadership, and that's what he was. He taught Christ so boldly that they started calling his group Christians because he was so inculcated with the body of knowledge that even though he was not a disciple of Jesus, he was so inculcated with the body of knowledge like we should be. After 90 years of Master Farad Muhammad visiting America and dropping a body of knowledge on the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and also to show that he wanted us to build a nation of Islam, not a religion of Islam, he gave us a flag, a holy flag. Where's that flag at today? What nation is it flying over today? A good question. And I'm not down in anything. I'm just saying we need transformational leadership today. And this is what it's going to take. Well, why do we need transformational leadership? As I stated on the onset of my talk today, we was robbed of the knowledge of ourselves. We was robbed of the knowledge of God. Whoo, man, that's a big robbery there. And then we were robbed of the language that we come up in under. We were robbed of the ability to think for ourselves. And this is our big problem today. If you ask somebody to think, they would rather die than think. You ask them for an original thought, which it's nothing spooky about an original thought. All you have to do is dig deep inside of you, just like an acorn seed have all that is need to build a tree. You have all that you need in you, in us, to build a nation. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad proved that. He proved that a man only went up to the 4th grade of education. He didn't amass money for himself. He amassed and purchased products and services, land, did trade with foreign nations as a nation. And we refer to ourselves, and we still are, whether we refer to ourselves or not, we still a nation within a nation. Dr. Martin Luther King, in his last speech, he drew attention to that in his last speech. He said to us that if only 9 other nations richer than us in 1968, he said at that time it was like $32 billion income of our nation. That didn't number 50 million like we number today, but he said if we would consider ourselves a nation and pool our resources, we would be the 10th richest nation in the world. Talking about that, I've got some interesting guests coming on in the next couple of days. I got a sister that's part of the Black Wealth Consultant, which I am a part of through Black Wall Street, and I had the co-founder, the founder and co-founder on a couple of Mondays ago. But I got Sister Bev Ham coming on tomorrow. She's the president of Black Wealth Consultant, and she will be on tomorrow with a vast array of knowledge in building, in educating, in financial education on all levels. So she will be on the Courage to Change News Hour tomorrow in the same studio. I'm looking at doing it around 1 p.m. Central Time. So other time zone, y'all just piggy off of that. But also Sunday, I got an international brother that's coming on that's doing work establishing relationship in Cuba, Brazil, the Dominican, the islands, all over South America. He will be on the show Sunday morning. I changed the time on Sundays to 9 o'clock, latest 9 o'clock on Sunday. So Black Wall Street through the Courage to Change Now, it's going to bring you some interesting foresight for you to look at and see how big we are and how accepted, how needed we are. We're not needed here no more. They don't need laborers. Because as I say all the time, in this present situation, in this present, the way the order thing go, you have the elites on top. The elite, they running this whole thing. It's about 3% of them that own 97% of the wealth. Then you have the managers, which is the government. President Trump is the head of the managing corporation here in the United States, and all these other leaders in all these other countries that have not jumped off of this bandwagon about this democracy move that they try to put on people that they don't practice themselves. But what we have on this show here is a potential to really educate our people and guide them to resources that can help. I am a member, I am an independent affiliate of the biggest wealth transfer on today, carried by International. I'm able to do this stream because in 2019, I traveled this country, even went to Germany, Stuttgart, Germany, our headquarters, during 2019. And I learned a lot about our system that gets us out of debt by accumulating gold in small increment, exchanging our dollars. We're not buying gold, we're not selling gold. We are exchanging and asking our people to encourage them to do that. We even give them a free gold savings account. A free gold savings account that's free to them, but the company had to have invested at least $30,000 in that software package that comes with a landing page where you could refer to your family, friends, and people that you know, love, and trust to this goal saving, asset building, internet driven company. Also, you have with your back office developed for free. Develop two portals. One, banking, where you do your own banking. I got some gold yesterday. I didn't have to go outside nowhere to get it. It was already, my funds was already inside my back office. My bank is inside my back office. Okay. Then you have a business portal. If you decide that you want to have some income stream, purchase a business package, and now you get involved in the business. That is conducted also in your back office. You don't have to go nowhere. So this is why we are so comfortable doing this stay at home. We're still earning money. And we could show you how if you would have the courage to change now and follow transformational leadership. What Dr. Harold Sight did for us is getting us out of this debt system, 23 to 24 trillion dollars in debt, up until they started just printing money like it's going what's that, I-65 going north here in Alabama. They printing money as fast as that. Where do you think the value is coming from? Who you think going to repay all that money? Who do you think will keep accepting a devalued dollar? Who do you think will do that? But we giving you an opportunity. I'm not selling anything. I don't even have a link out there. The only link I have is should have is TCTCNOW.com, where you could go and hit the contact tab and fill out your information. Let us know that you're listening, and you could really do something in the chat box. Let us know what you're thinking. If you own, I see a lot of people own, but here's the thing: if you want to support a futuristic newscast, news media, where we are disseminating news as it is, not fake. We bring in people on in our community that you wouldn't even know exist, because CBS, CNN, all these big news, corporate news stations will not carry them. The radio station, what prompted me to get on this, to create this stream? I'm here in Huntsville, Alabama. It's a black man that owns 5 radio stations here. And I've been talking to him for 2 years to allow me on his station to help the community. He's been eating lunch off of this community, and see, it needs help. It needs wisdom. It needs knowledge. It needs structure. It needs self development. And he won't allow me on his station because the name of my nonprofit is Black Wall Street. We got to change this. Man, we need transformational leadership. We got to stop riding on people because they got money or they got fame that don't care about us. So hit that contact tab. Come on to us. We are building a group of professionals and people that offer service, where we're going to spend our dollar with them, and we're going to create more, especially through BWC, Black Wealth Consulting, because they have a structure. They even have a agriculture piece in their on their platform that I'm really eager to get to. But you have to, brothers and sisters, you have to think. And let me show you why we need this kind of talk today. Because I was turned on. The sister that's going to be my guest tomorrow, she turned me on to a book which I love reading. Books especially about the mind, or the orientation of the mind. It's called The Master Key, written I think in 1916 or something like that. Bob Proctor and a lot of the other people that talked about attraction marketing, attraction, the art of attraction. He's the one that wrote something in 1916 that they copied off and made better, which they should do. But I just want to read about 2 or 3 paragraphs of what he said in part 1 of this book. All possession is based on consciousness. All gain is the result of an accumulated consciousness. All loss is the result of scattered consciousness. Scattered consciousness. And this is what the elite did. They scattered our conscious mind into religion of, I don't know how many different religions there are just in the Christian faith. They scattered our mind in the political arena. And we're still trying to make sense out of that with the world caving down on us. The unraveling of a great nation was a great lesson to us, and we should go back and pull that message up by the Honorable Louis Farrakhan. And then we should go to part 2 that he did on the following Sunday, called Jesus Save. I know y'all think that the Muslims don't believe in Jesus. No, we do more than that. We follow his example, and we are versed in that. I know myself, since 1972, I have looked and studied that man named Jesus that they called Jesus, but his name couldn't have been Jesus, not back then. But I'm not going to go into that. But here it is. It says, all loss is the result of a scattered consciousness. That much gathers, more is true on every plane of existence, and that loss leads to greater loss is equally true. So that is gathered, it expands on every plane. But that is lost is equally true, because you don't gain it. Mind is a creative condition and environment and all experience in life are the result of a habitual or predominant mental attitude. Habitual or predominant mental attitude. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. That's so true today. The attitude of the mind is necessarily dependent upon what we think. What are we thinking about now? Getting out? Getting out and being free to walk right into danger that you don't know anything about? Therefore, the secret of all powers, all achievement, all possession depend upon our method of thinking. As I heard, I think it was Bob Proctor say one time, some people would rather die than think. When I heard that, I say, wow, man, you must be, well, I ain't gonna say that. But anyway, this is true because we must be before we can do. And we can do only to the extent which we are. And what we are depends upon what we think. Listen to that. He goes right back to thinking. So thinking is a valuable instrument, and the mind is where you come, where it hooks up with the eternal mind, the creative mind. Is that we have. But in the scripture, it talks about falsehood being on our mind. And it says, gives us instruction that we must hurl truth at falsehood until we knock out its brain. So falsehood is sitting right there between our creative thinking and our mind, to give us a false illusion of what is real. So therefore, even our thoughts are against us. Brother Ave, Dr. Ave, was a great psychologist, used to write in the Final Call newspaper that we have a mind that's against us, saying that when we think about doing something right, that mind that's against us will lead us in the wrong direction. So we got to be careful. We got to read and get off in a corner and start realizing where we are in this atmosphere of time, that and what must be done. We have to accept our own and be ourselves and do for self before we have to suffer the consequences. It says, we cannot express power which we do not possess. I'm going to read that again. We cannot express power which we do not possess. The only way to secure possession of power is to become conscious of power. You ask people, black people, hey man, let's do that. Oh, we can't do that. Why? Are you a powerless, impotent person? Why? Why we can't do that with God on our side, God as our Christ, and Christ as our head right now? That's changing the dynamic of this world right now. The unraveling of a great nation. The transformational leadership is what needed in this period of time, or this dispensation of time. We've come to the end of the world of 6,000 years that was allowed the wicked to rule. It's going to be a big paradigm shift right here, because ain't nobody in power, which just like in the story of Moses, Jehovah weakened Pharaoh, where Pharaoh couldn't even chase them when they got ready to go across the Red Sea. Say we cannot express power which we do not possess, and the only way to secure possession of power is to become conscious of power. We can never become we can never become conscious of power until we learn that all power is from within. Now, this is what Jesus said when he was asked about that kingdom. This is what I'm asking you on this stream today, on this show. Where is this power that you're talking about, Brother Hillman, that we're going to build a new nation, a new heaven, that prophesied in Isaiah 65, Revelation 16, Revelation 21, about a new heaven and a new earth coming? And we are the builders of that. We are the ones that's going to start it. Well, we may not, well, not may not, we may not in our physical form finish it, but we can start it. We got to have courage, though. Therefore, there is a world within, a world of thoughts, a world of feeling, a world of power, a world of light, a world of life, a world of beauty. And although invisible, it is force, its force almighty. When you dig deep into yourself, you see yourself getting scared of what's in you. I know in a conversation with Minister Farrakhan once, he said that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad told him, become, when you know who you are, you'll be afraid of yourself. Well, that's not just for Minister Farrakhan. This is what we got to stop doing and putting all that on Minister Farrakhan. Jesus in the scripture say, pick up your cross. This man has carried a cross for over 40 years, and he's approaching 87, I think, in May, a few days from now, May the 11th. And you all still looking to see what you could get from him instead of picking up our own cross like I'm doing right now. I'm picking up a cross and I'm saying to Satan and whoever else is against us, God is on scene, his Christ is backing us, and we got three. So why are we afraid? I don't want to scare anybody, but this is where I'm at. I'm at the wit's end of seeing my people destroyed and our prisons filling up with our people while these crooks in the financial industry are waxing rich. Nobody went to jail. Nobody got charged in 2008, 2009 when I lost a lucrative limousine business. You understand what I'm saying? Nobody. I got a segment that I want to play by the Attorney General William Holden, where he was asked in an interview, why didn't he go after the bankers and charge them? He said they couldn't. If they could have, they would have. Well, how you gonna let somebody walk off with $12 trillion, sink the economy, have people losing their businesses, their fortune over some BS that they did out of greed, and then on the other flip side, when a young brother or sister, a young Hispanic, young poor white, do something that you all call illegal to feed their family, to remain sovereign, they fill up the prisons in America and federal and state, and they in all the county jails waiting to be tried. But you could not frame a law that would at least charge these banksters with a crime. You did not do that, Eric. And it's no way you can excuse that. At the same time, you all was prosecuting crack, people that had possession of crack, and sending them to jail for that, sending them to prison for that. And all they were doing, although they was doing something that was against our community, but they were doing that for livelihood. They didn't know anything else to do. Well, look at the mafias, all ethnic groups. They came here, they pumped drugs in Harlem, had the lampposts leaning so much. It was so much heroin in Harlem. And when I came out of the service, I came out into San Francisco, the Bay Area. There on Fillmore and McAllister, there was so many heroin addicts hanging out on the corner just gnawed. They would have a cigarette in their hand, and the ashes would be from the start of the cigarette when they lit it all the way down to the filter, and it would not fall. Man, that's totally knocked out there. But the world within is governed by the mind. We, when we discover the world, this world, we shall find the solution for every problem, the cause for every effect, and since the world within is subject to our own control, all laws, all power, all possession are also within our control. So we got to petition this right now. Ain't no, after what William Holden said, we should empty the prison and get our brothers and sisters in Hispanic and poor white to build this kingdom on earth, to build it. Okay, but I'm gonna go. I think I'd have been on long enough. But as you could tell, there's a lot more where this came from. Hit that donation button. Hit the comment section. I see Brother Tyrone. He typed something. I can't read it from the position I'm in, but I like it. So I'm gonna give him a like. Jay Delane. Oh man, Jay. Man, I didn't know my brother was on. Congratulations on your show, brother. Thank you, brother Jay. I'm gonna tell you about Jay. His father, named Rick Roberts. When I started helping Minister Farrakhan in 1979 and especially in 1980, I visited a radio station where brother Rick was the program manager, program director, and I had just come back from St. Louis, and I had a CD that I brought back with me from St. Louis in 1980. It was about the summer, and I went by the radio station. I was driving cab then. I had my own cab service, and I went by, and Rick and I knew each other from prior to '75 because I sold a lot of Muhammad Speaks newspaper in the Houston area for about 4 years, 7 days a week. So I knew just about everybody, like Mickey Leland, all these guys. I knew them all. But I went by, I asked Rick to play the musical side. The musical side of A Black Man Heaven is a White Man Hell. He started listening to it, and he wanted to do, which is not good for network marketing, have a debate over it. So I saw it was time for me to exit. So I say, Rick, why don't you play that? That's the only CD I have. Why don't you play it, and I'll come back next Monday and get it back from you. And Monday afternoon, I called him. I called the radio station. He answered the phone. I say, Rick, did you get a chance to listen and play? He said, brother, we played this lecture, man, and the phone haven't stopped ringing off of the hook. And I thank Brother Rick for doing that because I was talking about the song, but he played the Jack the Rapper, the Jack the Rapper lecture. Y'all need to go get that one. But then he said, let me keep it a few more days because I want to play it in prime time. And he did that. And Houston started talking. So this is why I decided to do this news stream. Let's talk about this, man. Or let's do it. I know Jay got some radio experience, and I don't know what he's doing now. But brother Tyrone, he's got some DJ experience. He got courage. I was in Dallas with him. But look, let me end this stream. I'm gonna give you all kudos in a few after I end this show. Okay? So let me end it now. I hate to do it abruptly, but I got an important phone call coming through. Okay? Good evening. Assalamu alaikum to all. Yes, yes.